Tonight's movie was proudly brought to you by the Commonwealth Bank.
Welcome to the launch of the Democrats' 1989 state election campaign. We're launching our 1989 campaign with the phrase, South Australia, the quality of life state, because quality of life is the essence of the Democrat vision for South Australia in the 90s. The Democrats are making a run on both houses of Parliament this election. We're campaigning in all 47 lower house seats. Everyone in South Australia can vote Democrat on November the 25th. In short, we have a whole range of policies covering social, economic and environmental areas to fight the battles that need to be fought in the coming decade. I hope you can join us and vote for us, and that once again people and government can join hands in the quest to create a better society.
The opposition wants you to send a message to Canberra this state election. Let them know how you really feel about high interest rates and what they're doing to you and your family. The Australian Democrats believe that you should do this too, but if you believe you're going to get any help from the opposition parties, then you're crazy.
Our beaches are among South Australia's great natural assets. They are among the areas that I and the Democrats have been fighting to preserve during the second Bannon government. Places like Selleck's Beach, Jubilee Point, Wilpena Pound and Flinders Chase have become household names in recent years. And who could forget the Mount Lofty cable car development?
The Australian Democrats value the vital contribution that older members of the community have made to the development of the state. They deserve an opportunity to share their expertise and their experience with the younger members of the community and to enjoy their retirement years in safety and with security of an assured income to allow them to live in dignity. They want action now, not just promises in the future. And only the Australian Democrat senators opposed delays in the vital increases in pensions in 1986.
This is South Australia's largest power station, Torrens Island. Most of us haven't given it much thought, except perhaps in the recent power blackouts. But the government has sold off this power station to a foreign buyer, and we don't know who it is. And the government won't tell us.
These mangroves are important for the fisheries of St Vincent's Gulf. Now, hard as it might seem today, in 1962 these mangroves were marked for destruction. I and many other people in the conservation movement throughout the 1960s fought to protect these mangroves, and that effort was successful.
In May of this year, the Australian Democrats introduced 2 bills to help you and your families cope with the high cost of living and to improve the quality of life for your children. The first of those bills removed the tax on some of the interest that you earn from your savings in bank and building society accounts. Liberal and Labor senators opposed that. The second bill was to give you and your families the same tax break that British and American homeowners have, and that is to allow you to deduct some of the mortgage interest payments that you make from your tax. Both Liberal and Labor senators opposed that. On the 25th of November, we're asking you to vote for the people who voted for you in May. Vote Australian Democrats.
The Democrats are Australia's oldest Green Party. We've been fighting on environmental issues for 12 years since our formation. We will support developments which are sensitive and do not destroy our natural environment. More specifically, we will stop the Wilpena Pound development and relocate it in a nearby town. We will stop the wholesale release of organochlorines into Lake Bonnie, and we will keep Adelaide the most beautiful and least spoiled city in Australia. The Democrats are the only Green Party with the commitment, the experience and the expertise to give us full environmental protection and safeguard South Australia. This time, vote Democrat.
Australian Democrats work for better options in housing, including making it possible for people to live in their own homes as long as possible. Protection of savings from erosion by inflation and taxation, for increases in and indexation of concessions such as council rates, water rates and electricity charges, for better access to transport. The Australian Democrats have protected you and worked for you for 12 years. This time, vote Democrat.
The Democrats believe that we should have ready access to information about who owns what in South Australia. In the next Parliament, we'll be setting up an inquiry into foreign ownership in South Australia. We'll create a register of foreign ownership. And if we discover that too much of our properties, lands and farms are being sold off, then we'll put a stop to it. If you think this issue is important, then we need your support on November 25th. But we can't be truly effective unless we have your vote in both houses. Give us your number 1 vote and give your number 2 vote to whoever you like. Then if the Democrat candidate is counted out, your vote passes on to the number 2 candidate of your choice. When we are elected to both houses in strength, we'll make sure that large amounts of South Australian property are not sold off to the highest foreign bidder. This time, vote Democrat.
In the 1980s and 1990s, it's the Democrats who are fighting to protect the environment for you and for your children. Mike Elliott in the State Upper House has introduced legislation to protect the global ozone. I've done a similar thing in the Senate. Both those moves were opposed by the government and by the opposition. Mike has also introduced legislation to protect the world from global greenhouse effect. We ask you to join us, join the Democrats, help us to protect the environment for you and for your children.
The Liberals are trying to appeal to our baser emotions in this election by supposedly getting tough on criminals. Let me tell you that the harsh, punitive and retrograde measures proposed by John Olsen will do, and what they'll do very quickly, they'll make criminals hate society even more. They will greatly expand the role of prisons as universities of crime. They will turn young misfits into hardened criminals. Currently, it costs you and me $163 to keep one prisoner behind bars for 1 day, and considerably more in Yatala. It is a very expensive procedure. John Olsen's plan will add many dollars to that overnight, and it will boost, not reduce, the crime rate. Crime begins with criminals. The Democrats will not reduce fair sentences. We will not go soft on criminals. But while they are serving their time, we will provide prisoners with education, with training, with social skills, so that when they leave prison, as every one of them eventually does, they have more than the one option, crime, to go back to. Let me close with a simple political message. Give your number 1 vote to the Democrats in both houses of Parliament. Give your second preference to whoever you like. If your Democrat candidate doesn't get up, is counted out, your vote in full goes straight to your number 2 choice, Labor or Liberal, whoever. There is no such thing as wasting a vote if you vote Democrat. Some people look at the problems of our age and say, well, it's all too hard, there's nothing we can do about it. But I and my fellow Australian Democrats say, this is a great opportunity, let's get in there and do something about it. This time, vote Democrat in both houses.
Authorised by Mike Elliott, MLC, for the Australian Democrats, Adelaide.
Hey, look at us now, we turned 21. Hey, look at us now, you'll enjoy the fun. Hey, look at us now, we've just begun. We're GTS and BKN. Hey, look at us now.
You're watching GTS 4, 5 and 8 and BKN 7. The following program is classified PGR, Parental Guidance Recommended.
You can get it striving, you can get it diving, you can get it mixing cement. The hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and the best cold beer is Vic Bitter. You can get it rowing, you can get it blowing, You can get it selling a cow. Matter of fact, I've got it now. Victoria Bitter.
Totally designed and manufactured in Australia, Breez Air evaporative air conditioners are arguably the quietest and most efficient in the world. From around 3 cents an hour, your home can have the luxury of fresh air conditioning. Breez Air, cooler by design.
When you're smiling.
G'day, I'm Sid Heylen. Here's a few songs I've been asked to sing over the years.
I'm gonna buy a paper doll that I can call my own.
Here's a little number I whipped up just for Ed.
You can bring Shirl, she's a darn nice girl, but don't bring Esme. Shirl can bring Frank, he's a bit of a crank, but don't bring Esme. I'm walking the floor over you. Now women like them, like men like those. Why don't women like me?
I even sing one about Wandon Valley, specially written for me.
I'm going back to Wandon Valley, going back where I belong. Who's sorry now? Who's sorry now? Who's sorry
Up now on record or cassette from Triple R. Why don't you buy a copy? I need the money.
On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me.
For the third of Hourglass Jewelers' 12 Days of Christmas, a gift that's timeless in its styling, yet timely in the giving. This classic-style Delta timepiece with a movement that's state-of-the-art technology. The special moon phase function precisely plots the rise and wane of the moon's 28-day cycle. The watch has a 3-year battery life and a quartz module well protected in a robust case faced with bump-resistant plexiglass. The strap is all leather. This exclusive Delta timepiece is priced at just $99.50 and is available in a smaller matching size. You could win this classic Delta moon phase watch day 3 in the Hourglass 12 Days of Christmas competition. Entry forms from your Hourglass Jewelers. Millhinch Jewelers, Port Augusta, Carthews Jewelers, Broken Hill, Evans Hourglass Jewelers, Port Pirie, Westland Jewelers, Waialanorri, and Hourglass Jewelers, Port Lincoln.